Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're here at Porter over on West Washington Avenue. This is a pretty cool location. It's a little bit hidden, but there's some great coffee, great sandwiches here, and we're going to talk with those folks later on in the program.
Looking forward to it.
But switching from coffee over to wine, now I'm joined by Molly Moran, owner of Table Wine over on Atwood Avenue. Molly, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you
nice
with
to
us.
see you. One of our favorite topics.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk a little bit about a wine tasting event that you have coming up on Friday, January 27th. It's from 5 to 7. But first of all, give us a little bit of a background about how Table Wine got started.
Sure. So we opened a little over a year ago. We're located on Atwood Avenue. And I live in the neighborhood. I'd worked in restaurants and wine retail for a number of years. And so I kind of always in the background of my head thought, I want to do something on my own. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. And living in the neighborhood, I just kind of looked around and thought, like, what does the neighborhood need? So we kind of still needed a wine store. It's kind of an up-and-coming neighborhood. So we needed a place to kind of pick up a bottle of wine, a gathering space as well. So that's kind of where the impetus came from. So it nicely kind of dovetailed with my desire to have my own space and my wine background.
Very good. I like the sort of reverse methodology there of opening a shop, because a lot of people say, okay, I've got this passion, I'm just going to do that. And you looked at your neighborhood where you're passionate about, that you live in, and found a need. I think that's cool.
That's awesome. Thanks. Thank you. I actually met with a friend of mine who did it the more traditional route.
Right.
And I said, but the thing is, I don't want to leave. I love my neighborhood and I know I want to be in Madison. And he said, well, then reverse engineer it and figure out what it is the neighborhood means.
What a fun story.
Cool.
I love that.
Thanks.
That's really neat.
Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about the experience at Table Wine. So folks come in for the first time. What are they going to experience that they might not get elsewhere?
So one really important thing to me was that it was a beautiful space. So I spent a lot of time on design and I wanted it to feel comfortable. As I said, it's like a gathering space, so you can come in and have a glass of wine or have a wine flight, so you can taste like through a few different wines on our list. So I wanted it to be a place that you wanted to spend time, so it's kind of cozy and pretty. One of our other main focuses is wines that are in the affordable price range, which kind of means different things to different people. But for the majority of our wines, they're between $10 and $20. Okay. So you can kind of, when you come in, know that you're not going to end up breaking the bank, but you're going to find something kind of special. So those are kind of the big things. We also really love to do events, and we want it to be fun, and we want to make wine kind of exciting and interesting for people and kind of demystify it a bit.
I think that's a great, just all overall, I love your philosophy, because when you are sort of in that price range shopping for wine, you go to some of your more typical retailers and there's not a big selection.
Right.
So you're kind of down to, maybe a couple brands. Yep. And here's a place you can go and get those more affordable wines with some unique tastes and a lot more to choose from.
Thanks. Yeah.
Really neat. I love it.
And let's talk a little bit about events, because events is a very important part of your business. What sort of events do you typically host?
So as you mentioned, we have the tasting coming up. So we tend to do about one tasting a month, and that format for that is drop-in. So when you said 5 to 7, you can drop in anytime between 5 and 7. They tend to be about $10 to $15 a person.
Okay.
They're super fun. You get to taste through about 6 or 7 different wines. We have a pretty large group of people who come, somewhere in the range of like 25 to 30 people come in. So the one at the end of the month is going to be red blends, because it's kind of what people are interested in, and I wanted something that was fun for January, get you out of the house.
Right,
so kind of talking through what red blends are and why, what style do people like. So that's kind of one big thing of these tastings that are kind of really fun get-togethers. We also do a bunch of wine classes where they're smaller, more intimate groups, and they're way more focused on a specific topic. And that way people can kind of like dive in and learn a lot about something that they care about.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that, because you said earlier that you want to sort of demystify the wine process. So these classes are an opportunity to educate folks about what wines they're buying or tasting. Tell us a little bit more about the educational piece, and are you continuing to grow that component?
Yeah, I am. So we started, the first class I taught was about a year ago. It was in February after having been open for a couple of months. And the interest is just phenomenal. Of all the things that we've done, of all the things that we focus on, the wine classes really seem to be the cornerstone of what people wanted to get out of it. So yes, we are definitely continuing to grow. We When it's warmer out, we tend to do about 2 a month, but for the winter, we said let's just try this, and so we're doing 1 a week throughout the winter. I just had a food and wine pairing class earlier this week. I'm teaching a class on Zinfandel next week, so there really are an opportunity to kind of pick a place, a grape, whatever you care about, and really learn a lot with a small group of really fun people.
What a fun activity too, like you said, it's a great excuse to get out of the house. We need a reminder sometimes.
Right.
And wine is motivating.
It is a
out of
good
the house.
motivator.
I think
Real
that's
quick
fun.
before we go, I want to make sure I get this in. You have a lot available for wine drinkers. Do you have anything available for non-wine drinkers?
Yes, because it is Wisconsin and it is Atwood Avenue, so we definitely have a nice selection of craft beer, a small selection of spirits. So we do have everything for everybody.
Awesome. Awesome. And information is available on your website, I'm assuming?
Absolutely. Yep, tablewinemadison.com. Our Facebook page is also another great place to go.
All right. Molly Moran from Table Wine, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Don't go away. There's lots more Wisconsin Family coming up right after the break. Stick around.